Welcome to Psychology Hub with Dr. Rodriguez. In today's video, we'll be talking about language development milestones. Very important. There's milestones, different types of milestones. We're specifically going to be talking about language development milestones, okay? First, let's talk about birth. Language is crying. Crying is a form of language. That's the first milestone. And I want to add that there's 3 distinct patterns of crying. Hunger, the basic, right? Anger, and pain. Even infants get angry. And just a little, I guess, a fun note that pain cry is the only type of cry that elicits the greatest physiological reaction. Think about that one. Second, we have at 2 months, cooing. Cooing. Little mnemonic, how do you spell cooing? C-O-O, right? Coo, I-N-G. At 2 months, how do you spell two? T-W-O. Get it? Two, cooing? If it works. At 6 months, we have babbling. Examples, bababa, dadada, babbling, and it occurs across cultures, okay? And a little side note, by the age of 9 months to 14 months of age, babies narrow their repertoire of sounds to their native language. What's repertoire? That's a test question. That's a concept I want you to go look up, okay? I also want to add really quick that at 9 months of age, children imitate adult speech sounds and words without really understanding the meaning of the word. What's that called? Echolalia, okay? Expressive jargon. Next, we have first words at 10 to 12 months. And at 13 months, infants understand about 50 words. And then they speak their first words between 10 to 15 months. So remember, infants' first words are between 10 to 15 months. And then they start around 18 months, they start speaking about 50 words, not first words, okay? Also at 18 months, vocabulary explosion, approximately 50 words or more to several hundred words rapidly. I also want to add that between 1 to 2 years old, children use single words to express whole phrases of sentences. That's referred to as phrasic speech. And then between 18 to 24 months, we have telegraphic speech. That can be understood as, example, as me go, more juice. It's a whole sentence, however, it's 2 words like a telegraphic. I want something to eat, right? Telegraphic speech. That's between 18 to 24 months. And then around 3 years old, there's simple sentences. Grammar rapidly improves. 5 years old, basic grammar resembles adult language. Let's talk about a couple things. There's let's talk about a couple things. There's a couple of errors in language that kids exhibit, and that's underextension, overextension, and overgeneralization during the language development stage. Let's start with overextension. Overextension is they use one word too broadly. For example, they call every dog or every animal dog, okay? They see a cat, they see a horse, they see anything with 4 legs, they call it a dog, right? That's overextension. Then we have underextension, when they're using a word too broadly. For example, let's say they're calling only the family pet dog, not other 4-legged creatures. They're underextension. Remember, overextension is calling all animals dog, versus underextension when they're only calling the house pet or only the house cat, the house dog, dog, okay? Under. And then the third one I want to talk about is regularization, which it's applying grammar rules too broadly. Here's an example. I think when I say this example, you're gonna get it. Some kids say "goed" to the store, right? They say mouses, they say foots, right? That's over regularization, okay? So we just went over a couple, three main ones. Overextension, when they're calling every animal dog. Unders, when they're only calling the family pet dog. And then overregularization is when they're applying grammar rules too broadly. Goad, I goad to the store. The mouses, right? Or foots, okay? And I just want to add a little, before we end, I want to add that Chomsky's theory correlates with overregularization. So go ahead and look up Chomsky's theory, and you'll see that you'll find this error inside of his theory. Good luck.